the Thursday before Memorial Day, and I couldn't do a Memorial Day program without having somebody who has seen America at its best days, its worst days, its brightest days are soon to come, and I really feel that way. So we're welcoming my dear friend, retired, and he loves this word, retired, Detective Paul Nelson, NYPD cop for many years. You have seen it all.
Yes.
Are you thankful you were not in New York during this horrible pandemic?
I am very thankful. I've had my family here for 4 years. We're extremely happy. They do still have...
You haven't picked up the Georgia accent, though.
No.
When are you going to get that?
It's going to take a little while. I'm born and bred in New York, and I find myself hearing it and then listening to myself to see if I'm picking it up. And I realize, God, I sound so New York.
Yeah, you do.
Which I'm learning is not the best sound. But it's who I am. But I am. I still have family there. My brother's sister, and so there's always concern. I'm the youngest of 5, and so we're up in our 50s, 60s, and we are the group that has to be most concerned. So we're told.
Absolutely.
But I'm happy to be retired. I'm happy to be here in Georgia. I recommend to everybody, move to Georgia.
Move to Georgia. Leave New York and come to Georgia, but leave your troubles behind.
Absolutely. And your
Don't
politics.
bring any of your problems. Yeah,
Yes.
leave your politics up there, too.
The reason this is a place to go is because it's not where you're coming from.
That's right. That's right. Now, we also have a very, very close person to you, Miss Hannah, who worked on the front lines.
Yes, my stepdaughter.
And tell me a little bit about her day-to-day communications today. Are things getting better?
Well, she now, unfortunately, she was working in Brooklyn, which, if anybody follows any New York politics or any New York stats, Brooklyn was hardest hit out of all of New York City with COVID cases. And she was working at
Thousands
downstate.
of people.
Yes.
Thousands and thousands of people.
And they tell me, although I have not been there myself, that the streets were truly empty. People were following, for the most part, the rules. Yet it went through Brooklyn like no other place. And so she was traveling in from Long Island to work in a hospital opposite one of the busiest in New York, which is Kings County Hospital. And she was working at downstate right across the street and dealing with COVID cases. And unfortunately, she got hurt at home, cut her leg in 2 spots, which required surgery, nerve reattachment. And so she's now off of the front line, but she's now working from home because she's not an idle person. I don't know that I love her to death. I don't know if Hannah would know how to slow down.
Yeah.
It's not in her DNA.
Yeah.
One of the most intelligent girls I've ever met. She's going to be successful. She is successful.
She's going to move to Georgia. She's smart enough to move to Georgia. I'm so excited.
She is anticipating a move here, hopefully.
Yeah.
But she, in her house or in her apartment, she was had the surgery and still wanted to contribute. So she found a job that allows her to work from home, training nurses how to scan for COVID for individual companies. And so she's actually now training and still in the process of hiring and training nurses to work for major companies so that they can get their employees back to work and not contaminate other workers. So, but she is in the midst of it. She was calling us up in tears at times about patients that were not going to make it. They knew that they were too far gone. They were intubated. They were on ventilators. And some of them, she would hold their hand, talk to them as they were being treated, and they were asking, please don't let me die. Things like that obviously pull at your heartstrings.
Sure.
You don't have to know the people in order to understand the emotion. And then her in the middle, she's a 23-year-old, lady. This is her, as I told her, I said, Hannah, this is your 9/11. If on a scale we could